So what's the best way to see the city as a local? And I can tell you right away, if you want to see the city as a local, you're going to want to connect with the locals that don't have really their own interests or a business's interest in mind. And by that, I mean, if you really want to see what the locals see, typically you don't ask the person who runs maybe the hostel or the hotel, or has maybe a connection, or they have some kind of business connection or ulterior motive in mind. Really meeting some locals, whether you have friends or family that have friends in the area, they're gonna steer you away from just the typical tourist trap where you're spending lots of money and where everyone goes. And so being able to connect with someone behind the scenes that really just doesn't have an interest in selling you anything is the best way to see a place as a local. And then I always ask, what is their favorite spot? And so many times what you need to do from that point is just give it a little bit of time. You're putting someone on the spot a little bit, and sometimes they can't think of things right away. But don't be afraid to get their contact info and follow up with them. I've had people where I say, what's the best thing in town? Giving a really broad scope that makes it really hard to follow through on the spot. And then the next morning I wake up and they sent me an email that has list by list all these different things I can do, things I would have never thought of. They're not in tourist books. That's a big thing. You don't necessarily want to go through these tourist books and just plug along from 1 through 10 on what's in here. You do want to get that local flavor. And so ask, give some time for them to think about what's going on, and then even follow up, whether it's an email or a call, whatever you got to do. But giving just a little bit of time is where locals are really able to develop those ideas and think about places that you should visit. I know when people ask me about my hometown, sometimes on the spot I can't think of anything, and then when I really think about it, I can think of dozens of restaurants, places they should go that they aren't going to find in books, and really give that local perspective. So I hope that helps out and that you're able to really experience some places as a local. So enjoy that and take on the city.